Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
General Hospital spoilers for the coming 3 weeks, January 19th to February 6th, reveal that a blizzard will be brewing while Emma Scorpio Drake sends out an SOS to Nathan West. Tracy Quartermaine will also retain Jason Morgan while a maternity mess hangs over Portia Robinson. The week of January 19th to 23rd will leave all of Port Charles buzzing about Willow Kane's not shamefaced verdict. There'll be questions about what this means for Michael Corinthos since his own justification has fallen piecemeal. Sonny Corinthos will make it clear that he's going to cover his son, but Michael will still face off with Harrison Chase for his part of the justification destruction. Although Britt Westbourne will ask Jason to go out with her again, WSB director Ross Cullum may put a stop to their heightening love. Britt will suddenly push Jason down and leave him upset about what's really going on. While Anna Devane deals with further Caesar Faison gaslighting in prison, Emma will push for Nathan's help as she continues trying to track her grandma down. As for Tracy, she'll have an offer for Jason. Tracy may have many tricks up her sleeve when it comes to getting back the Quartermaine heritages and making Drew suffer, so we'll see how Jason might fit in. Next, it sounds like an extremity is brewing at GH since Lucas Jones and Elizabeth Baldwin will fight to help someone. The case may wind up departed or in critical condition since Lucas will partake some heartbreaking news. There have been some fatal suggestions in Valentine Cassadine spoilers, so could he fall into some peril and pay the price? If that's the case, it could be Jen Sidwell's doing. We clearly wouldn't be surprised if Sidwell faked Valentine's death and forced him into the cover like Britt. As for Jordan Ashford, she'll arrange and preface. This might have commodity to do with Sidwell's plan to find a relief Solon to fill Drew's shoes. During the week of January 26th, 30, Emma could get some shocking Anna suggestions. There'll be an Anna sighting nearly that leads to Emma, Max Scorpio, and Felicia Scorpio teaming up, but it'll presumably be more bank and glasses. Cullum may use this situation to shoot Emma down the wrong path and keep her from digging for the real story. Anna's deliverance obviously wouldn't go according to plan, so Emma will lean on Giovanni Gio Palmieri when it all goes wrong. Although Cody Bell and Molly Lansing Davis will grow closer, the preamble is on when it comes to further romantic snags. Molly's novel will lead to some surprising snags for this brace in the coming occurrences. Jason will continue to face the walls that Britt puts back over, but they may come worsening down formally as snowstorm beaches them. There's no word yet on exactly when the blizzard will chance, but it'll no mistrustfulness be a big part of February reaches. The week of February 2nd to 6th might bring some other stranded Port Charles residers as well, so it'll be intriguing to see all the snowy predicaments. As for Willow, she'll prepare for the visit Hale and stopgap for a family reunion. Will Drew force Alexis Davis to help Willow fight for time with her children? Of course, Willow will also have to fret over the possibility that Drew's shooter memory could come rushing back, so we'll see if any flashes or passions start to affect him. Although Portia Robinson has been putting off the maternity test, she might eventually delve by soon. Curtis Ashford will remain hopeful that the baby belongs to him, but Isaiah Gannon will keep hoping he's the father rather. Which baby daddy will win out, and will the maternity results be tampered with? General Hospital spoilers say some hot plots are about to get indeed hotter, so stay tuned for updates on all the excitement. General Hospital spoilers for the coming 2 weeks, January 19th to January 30th, reveal that Britt Westbourne will pump the Jason Morgan thickets while some medical drama erupts. Willow Kane will also face another problem while Sonny Corinthos plays games with Ava Jerome as part of his Jen Sidwell plot. During the week of January 19th to 23rd, Anna Devane will deal with further Caesar Faison gaslighting horror while Sonny promises Michael Corinthos he wouldn't let him go back to captivity. Still, Michael will worry about ADA Justine Turner coming after him now that Willow Kane has been set up not shamefaced. Of course, Willow will remain beyond relieved since she actually got down with shooting Drew Kane, who'll dispute with Alexis Davis about their terms and get fierce by hanging Nina Reeves. It'll be intriguing to see if Drew actually stands by his Scout Quartermaine deal or forces Alexis to get Willow's children back as another demand. Over with Britt, she'll plan another date with Jason, but WSB director Ross Cullum may have other ideas. After Cullum tosses some new orders around, Britt will feel cornered. We'll see Britt start pushing Jason down, so Cullum may advise her to cut ties and concentrate on her work. Still, Jason will deal with some reservations and voice enterprises for Britt when she starts pushing him down. Back with Michael, he'll have a run heft with Chase. Effects will get tense, so Brooke Lynn may be forced to play interceder. At GH, it looks like Lucas Jones and Elizabeth Baldwin will struggle to save a mysterious case before horrible news is delivered in the Fate. Will that case be Valentine Cassadine after Sidwell targets him, or another surprising character rather? While Trina Robinson seeks Ava Jerome's advice, Kai Taylor will admit some guidance from Nina Reeves. Plus, Tracy Quartermaine will have an offer for Jason to pound over, so this may be another path to getting the Quartermaine heritages back. As for Emma Scorpio Drake, she'll push Nathan West for help, so this may involve her fight to figure out where Anna truly is. Next, Sonny will resort to some manipulation when it comes to Ava, so he'll presumably try to stir up some Ava, Sidwell, and Lucy Cole love triangle drama. The week of January 26th, 30 may bring the launch of some new challenges for Cody Bell and Molly Lansing Davis. Molly and Cody got on the same runner about their relationship status, but her book will ever make some swells for them ultimately. Britt will continue to put some walls back over with Jason, but a blizzard is brewing that'll be a game changer. Getting stuck with Jason could lead to Britt surrendering to some passionate temptation. Eventually, Willow could grow anxious about the possibility of Drew having total recall about the night of the firing. That's a concern that could loiter in the reverse of Willow's mind as she prepares for another court date regarding her kitties. General Hospital spoilers say the coming 2 weeks will bring some twists and turns, so stay tuned for updates on all the excitement. General Hospital spoilers reveal the Suckers were thrilled to see Diane Miller back in the office this week, but not nearly as thrilled as Alexis Davis was. She demanded her friend, her therapist, and her attorney in that moment after learning that Willow Tate Kane actually did shoot Drew Kane. It might have sounded like good counsel for Diane to walk her through the options and help her decide how to move forward, but it doesn't feel as though either of them really looked far enough ahead to play out what's likely to come next: the execution going after Michael Corinthos. Can Diane keep Michael in the clear without throwing Alexis under the bus? The prosecution is resting District Attorney Justine Turner was fraudulent on making sure Willow went down for this crime. Despite the particular substantiation involved, and despite having no smoking fun, Turner was enough sure she could move a jury that Willow was the most likely culprit, but being the most likely person in the room still does affirm guilt, and alas, the execution lost. Now, they'll have to turn their focus in another direction to break this crime, and that makes Michael the coming most likely person on Turner's list. Diane and Alexis partake the same boat. While Alexis has been representing Willow, it has been her duty to do so to the stylish of her capability and try to get her customer off of these charges. However, Diane will be held to the same scores. If the execution comes after Michael, what are the odds that Diane will play down what she knows or defend Michael without making it out to look like Willow might be shamefaced when it could harm her relationship with Alexis? This is going to get tricky for these musketeers turned lawmates. Miller and Davis no further? It was Diane who supported the cause of Alexis going before the bar, requesting a hail, and fighting to get her law license back. It meant everything to her, and she nearly chickened out when the fear got to be too important to handle before she was granted reinstatement. She owes Diane a lot, as a friend, and a tutor, and now as a maid in their law establishment. Diane had a robust and thriving practice all on her own. She didn't need Alexis, but she wanted to take her on board. Now, having to defend Michael may mean she has to disinter the substantiations and substantiation she knows live to make the claim that Michael didn't do this because Willow did. Will that blow effects for Alexis and her comfy status as Emily Scout Kane's doting grandmother? How might that upend Willow's picture-perfect life with Drew? Stay tuned for further GH news and spoilers to find out. Port Charles had always believed it understood winter. It knew how to brace for cold winds off the harbor, how to wrap its streets in frost and silence. But this season was different. This season carried a storm not just of snow, but of truth, betrayal, and rebirth. As the town stood on the edge of a brewing blizzard, its people stood on the edge of something far more dangerous, reckonings that would change lives forever. A verdict that baptized the town in fire. The echo of the judge's gavel still seemed to vibrate through every hallway, every living room, every whispered conversation across Port Charles. Willow Kane's not guilty verdict didn't bring peace. It brought a reckoning. Some called it justice. Others called it a lie that had learned how to wear a halo. Michael Corinthos felt the weight of it settle squarely on his shoulders. His alibi had crumbled like paper in the rain, and now the eyes of the law were turning toward him. The relief that should have followed Willow's freedom never reached him. Instead, a cold certainty crept in. This wasn't the end of the nightmare. It was the moment the nightmare changed its target. Sonny Corinthos, ever the general in his own private war, made his stance clear. He would not let his son be swallowed by the system. Not now. Not ever. He spoke in quiet promises and veiled threats, his words carrying the weight of a man who had bent the rules of this town for decades and had no intention of stopping now. But Michael knew protection came with a price. And he didn't yet know who would pay it. Encouragement in the shadows, rage in the light. Harrison Chase stood on the opposite side of Michael's storm, his loyalty to Willow turning him into an unintentional enemy. Their confrontation wasn't loud at first. It didn't need to be. The air between them crackled with accusation and regret. Michael blamed Chase for helping unravel the last thread of his defense. Chase fired back, accusing Michael of lies, of manipulating the truth to protect himself and Jacinda. Words became weapons. Loyalty became a wound. Brooklyn Quartermain, caught in the middle, tried to calm the fire, but even her steady presence couldn't extinguish the anger burning in both men. It was a preview of what was to come, a town dividing itself along invisible lines of belief and betrayal. Anna's prison of mirrors. Far from the courthouse drama, Anna Devane fought a different battle, a war for her sanity. Her captors didn't just bind her hands. They tried to rewrite her reality. Pascal's voice, laced with the cruel echoes of Caesar Faison's manipulation, haunted her waking moments. He whispered doubts into her mind, planted false memories, and twisted truths into weapons. Every day in captivity became a test of will, a trial of memory. But Anna was not alone, not really. Emma Scorpio Drake felt the pull of her grandmother's absence like a physical ache. Refusing to accept the official story, she reached out to Nathan West with a simple, desperate message: "Help me find her." Nathan didn't hesitate. Together, they followed rumors, false leads, and whispered sightings. At one point, they thought they were close, a shadow that looked like Anna in a crowded place, a voice that sounded almost like hers. But it was smoke and mirrors, a distraction designed to pull them away from the truth. And when the trail went cold, Emma turned to Giovanni Gio Palmieri, finding comfort in his arms and courage in his quiet belief that Anna could still be saved. A proposal with strings attached. Tracy Quartermain had never been a woman who waited for opportunity. She created it. With Drew Quartermain still reeling from the fallout of the trial and the whispers surrounding Willow's guilt, Tracy saw her opening. The missing Quartermain heirlooms, the fractured family legacy, the chance to reclaim power that had slipped through her fingers, it all beckoned. She approached Jason Morgan not with a plea, but with a challenge. Jason listened, stone-faced as ever, but the gears in his mind turned. Tracy's plan promised retribution, restoration, and risk in equal measure. Whether he accepted or not, one thing was certain: if Jason stepped into this game, the board would never look the same again. A hospital on the brink. General Hospital, a place meant for healing, became the stage for heartbreak. Lucas Jones and Elizabeth Baldwin rushed to save a patient whose condition spiraled out of control. The halls filled with the sound of hurried footsteps and urgent orders, but not every fight could be won. When Lucas finally delivered the news, his voice broke. The loss sent ripples through the staff and the families waiting in the shadows. Rumors began to swirl. Some whispered that Valentine Cassadine had crossed the wrong enemy, that Jen Sidwell's reach had finally found him. Others feared something even darker, that this was just the beginning of a wave of violence meant to force compliance, silence, and submission. Britt and Jason, love on ice. Britt Westbourne wanted to believe in something simple. She wanted to believe that when Jason Morgan looked at her, he saw more than a mission, more than a liability, more than a piece of someone else's plan. Their dates were small rebellions against the world closing in on them, laughter over coffee, competition at an axe-throwing range, stolen moments that felt almost normal. But the WSB didn't deal in normal. Director Ross Cullum cornered Britt with orders she couldn't ignore. Her work came first. Her feelings were a liability. Jason was a risk. So Britt did what she thought she had to do. She pushed Jason away. Jason, sensing something deeper than cold feet, grew worried. He knew Britt well enough to recognize fear when he saw it. But every time he tried to reach her, she built another wall. Then the blizzard came. Snow trapped them together, cutting off escape routes and communication. In the quiet, brittle cold of a world reduced to two people and a flickering light, Britt's walls began to crumble. She hinted at secrets, at a life she couldn't explain, at dangers she couldn't share. Jason listened, and for the first time, he realized Britt wasn't just running from him. She was running from something that could destroy them both. Sonny's games and Ava's dangerous dance. Sonny Corinthos had always believed in using people's desires against them. Ava Jerome's tangled connection to Sidwell and Lucy Coe became another piece on his chessboard. Sonny stirred the waters, encouraged jealousy, and planted seeds of mistrust, all in an effort to draw Sidwell into the open. Ava, never one to be outplayed easily, sensed the manipulation, but she also knew walking away wasn't an option. In Port Charles, once you're in the game, you don't get to quit. A child's question of blood and truth. Portia Robinson stood at a crossroads she'd been avoiding for too long. The paternity test loomed over her like a storm cloud that refused to move on. Curtis Ashford hoped with every fiber of his being that the baby was his. Isaiah Gannon held on to his own quiet certainty. Portia, caught between two futures, feared what the truth might cost her. Rumors whispered that the test could be tampered with, that someone might try to bend the results to protect a fragile family or secure a hidden agenda. In Port Charles, even science wasn't immune to manipulation. Willow's new trial, motherhood on the stand. Though Willow had walked free from the criminal charges, another battle awaited her. The visitation hearing for her children loomed large, and this one felt more personal, more brutal. This wasn't about a jury or a judge. This was about her right to be a mother. Drew Kane, torn between anger and obligation, considered whether to force Alexis Davis to help Willow reclaim her time with her kids. The deal they'd made, about Scout, about silence, about cooperation, hung in the balance. At the same time, Willow couldn't escape the fear that Drew's memory might come rushing back. A smell, a sound, a flash of pain, any of it could unlock the truth about the night he was shot. And if that happened, no verdict in the world could protect her. Diane, Alexis, and the law's cruel divide. Diane Miller's return to the law office should have been a moment of celebration. Instead, it became a moment of dread. Alexis Davis, shaken by the truth she now carried, that Willow had indeed pulled the trigger, leaned on Diane for guidance, for strength, for a way forward. But the road ahead threatened to tear their partnership apart. If the prosecution turned its focus to Michael, Diane would be obligated to defend him with everything she had. That defense might require exposing evidence, witnesses, and details that pointed straight back to Willow. Protecting Michael could mean destroying Willow. And destroying Willow could mean betraying Alexis. The friendship that had survived bar hearings, career collapses, and personal tragedies now faced its greatest test. The blizzard as a baptism. As snow blanketed Port Charles, cutting off roads and trapping residents in unexpected places, the town underwent a kind of baptism. Stranded strangers found comfort in each other's company. Old enemies were forced to share space and silence. Secrets surfaced in the stillness of a world slowed by ice. For Britt and Jason, the blizzard became a crucible, melting away pretense and fear. For Emma and Gio, it became a moment of closeness, a reminder that love could still bloom in the coldest conditions. For Michael, it was a pause before the storm of the law came crashing down. A town poised for explosion. Valentine's fate remained uncertain. Sidwell's plans grew darker. Jordan Ashford arranged introductions that hinted at political replacements and shifting power. Tracy waited for Jason's answer. Sonny tightened his grip on the board. And Willow, standing in the quiet after her victory, realized that freedom could be just another kind of cage. The promise and the threat. Port Charles has always lived on the edge of tomorrow. Every smile hides a secret. Every promise carries a warning. As January fades into February, the town braces for more than snow. It braces for revelations that will tear families apart and forge new alliances in the ashes of the old. Because in this place, rebirth doesn't come with gentle waters. It comes with fire, ice, and the unrelenting truth that no one escapes the past, not for long. And as the blizzard howls outside, one thing becomes painfully clear.